Hey guys, it's Mountain Walk, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about commander stuff. Oh boy, look at this guy. Big scary Gishath dino dude. I'm going to do an update on this thing, cause it's sweet. I think it's been like a year or two or something. I think I've changed stuff, and then changed it around, and then changed it back, and then changed it again. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's do this. This is sweet. Okay, we'll start off with the lands. Start off with utility lands. First off, we got Homeward Path, right, for anti-creature steal stuff. And of course we have Scavenging Grounds, just anti-graveyard stuff. Ancient Tomb, good for ramping, obviously. And Sunhome is a way to spend your mana with Gishath in play to get more dinosaurs and stuff. Because you don't really want to overextend and play cards from your hand if you can. So Sunhome lets you get use out of your mana, put even more dudes on board, and if they get answered, like whatever, you can play stuff from hand or replay your commander, that kind of thing. And of course, Kessig Wolfrun. This card is sweet. It's Kessig Wolfrun. It, again, same thing as Sunhome, just more damage, lets you use your mana, that kind of stuff. The only thing I'd really want to put in here would be like maybe a Wasteland and or Strip Mine, because that would be sweet, obviously. Then how about some dual land things? So we have Yavimaya, right? That's a pretty good one. It's a new one. Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious why this is here. It color fixes your stuff, so makes having all those basic forests, basic plains and mountains still cast things. And of course we have these two guys. There we go. Rootbound Crag and Sun Petal Grove. Again, same thing. Got the red, green, and green, white Pain Lands, right? Carplucin Forest and Brushland, right? And we got Temple Garden and Sager Foundry and Stomping Ground, right? All the chalk lands. Then we have the filter lands. Oh boy, filter and mana. The Shadowmoor ones, those are sweet. And then 3 of the fetch lands. Green, red, green, white, and red, green. Blue. Okay. Easy peasy. Then we have more lands. Oh boy, so many lands. Jungle Shrine, right? Just another 5-color land basically for this deck. Same thing with Cavern of Souls, although Cavern obviously makes your stuff uncounterable. Very good to tutor for. Unclaimed Territory, another 5-color land. Same thing with City of Brass. And Mana Confluence, right? Doesn't matter about the damage. Fable Passage, yep. Prismatic Vista, yep. Path of Ancestry, a little bit of library manipulation, but also well, it's just a land that taps for 5 colors of mana, and of course Command Tower, which does the same thing. And of course, just a bunch of forests, and then plains, and 2 mountains. 2 mountains, 2 plains, and like 4 or 5 forests. Something like that. Okay, so now what do we have? Well, let's go to removal. So we have Blasphemous Act, again, just good, cheap removal. Helps deal with clogged board states, and you can cast it for like 1 mana and then cast your commander and immediately get in, and that's sweet. Austere Command, just super flexible wrath, can kill all the small stuff and leave your big dinosaurs alive, kill all artifacts and enchantments, all that kind of good stuff. Wrath of God, because, well, it's just a good way to kill a bunch of stuff for super cheap, no frills, that kind of good stuff. Corrosive Grip, this is very good at breaking up combos and all sorts of other obnoxious stuff, and keeping your disenchants from being countered, obviously, is pretty strong, so Split Second, very key here. And of course, Swords to Plowshares, because it's, I mean, there's no reason not to play it, the card's very good. Yeah, it's Swords to Plowshares, right? Like, it's one of the most played white cards in the format. Alright. Let's go on to ramp. We got Mirari's Wake. This goes in and out all the time. Wake is pretty sweet. It's I like it a lot. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's sometimes it's kind of wonky. I don't know. I like it though, so whatever. Then we got 3 in Dynamo. Ramp, yep. Smothering Tithe. This card is awesome. It's played in a bunch of different white decks for obvious reasons. It's great. I mean, you punish your opponent for drawing. If you don't, you tax them. That's super sweet. Farseek. Yep. Just more land tutors, typical kind of thing you're gonna see in any deck. I don't think I really need to explain why I'm playing Cultivate or Kodama's Reach. The exact mixture of like land ramp plus like the artifact ramp, I don't know what would be the best, but I just have a bunch of stuff. So yeah, Migration Path, it's like Explosive Vegetation, but slightly better. Signets, and Signets, and Signets. And then Soul Ring. Everyone likes Soul Ring, right? And then Mana Vault. Yep. And then, of course, Mana Crypt. So yeah, nothing too weird there. Typical stuff. Nothing too wonky. Okay. Now we'll have stuff that keeps our board from dying. So, Heroic Intervention, right? So once we have a huge board, like hitting once with Gishath, obviously people are going to want to Wrath. This at least prevents one. Same thing with Boros Charm, although Boros Charm you can sometimes double strike your commander, which is pretty sweet. Or obviously you typically want to make your stuff indestructible, but I'm sure there are people out there that have chose the first mode, which is kind of funny. And Flawless Maneuver. This card is ridiculous. You don't even have to keep mana up. You can just jam your commander super early and have this up, and all your stuff's indestructible, so that's sweet. And Teferi's Protection. This thing is awesome. Pretty much makes you invincible for at least a turn cycle. Very, very little will be able to kill you through this. Definitely, that would be pretty tough. Okay, what should we do next? How about the hate permanents? Alright, hate permanents, hate cards, random stuff that's not very nice. So we got Ruination. Obviously, this is a great way to, well, we play a few, like 10 or so basic lands, especially with the land ramp and of course the artifact lands, the artifact ramp. We're more or less protected from it. We just need to slow them down just a little bit, put them off kilter so we can beat them down with all of our dinosaurs. Blood Moon, same thing, punishing these really super non-basic heavy lists. And of course Armageddon just nukes everything, just kills it all. I'd play Ravages of War if I had one, but I do not. Oh well. Aura Shards. Yeah, we play a bunch of creatures and a lot of them come into play at once for free, so the Aura Shards is really super disruptive. It kills all of their artifact stuff, so like your Armageddon effects are more powerful. Obviously something like a Wildfire would be good too, but I just haven't found room for it. Okay, Stranglehold. This is one of my favorite cards. This stops your opponents from doing stuff, because screw them. They can't do mean stuff. All the extra turn crap, screw that. Rhythm of the Wild. This is basically just like, well, it's just like another card to screw over control decks, right? Keeps your stuff from being countered, and then having all your guys enter basically off of Gishath with a counter, a 1/1 counter is very powerful. And of course, Rest in Peace, because you should play a couple pieces of Graveyard Hate main deck to prevent all sorts of graveyard stuff. And Rest in Peace is about the cheapest, most effective, wide-reaching one, so really good stuff there. Okay, what should we do next? Oh, how about we'll move on to the tutors and then the creatures. We have Crop Rotation. This is basically going to get you like Cavern of Souls 90% of the time, or sometimes Ancient Tomb to ramp you up ahead of turn. So that's pretty sweet. Of course, you can get things like Homeward Path and in certain situations like Insurrection and any control magic effects, that kind of thing. So pretty sweet. Does a lot. Ramps basically always good. So then we got Sylvan Scrying, same thing, except it's not instant speed, but we don't have to sack a land, so that's kind of nice. Garruk's Uprising. This card's pretty sweet. It's a great draw engine. Draws us a bunch of cards, so when our board inevitably gets wiped, we can come back And also there's a minor sort of trample theme, right? With one of the cards from Ikoria. Alright, and last but not least, Sylvan Library. This is obviously a very powerful draw effect. It only costs, you know, green and colorless, so that's super sweet. Can't go wrong, can't go wrong. Alright, and then we'll start at the bottom with the cheapest dinosaurs. So we have Marauding Raptor. This card is super sweet. It ramps you, of course, but also triggers all of your enraged stuff, which is awesome. It's the only 2-mana one. The only 2-mana one I found to be very good. So yeah, this guy's sweet. Or girl. I mean, I don't know. Could be a clever girl, right? Alright, let's do 3-mana ones. Bam, Rampaging Brontodon. This can be kind of a pain, especially when we have like the life gain dinosaur guy. But this is a really powerful hate card that punishes like a ton of different decks. Like, you know, any sort of Splinter Twin style shenanigans, any life gain stuff. And just a 3-mana 3/3 with also a menace makes it hard to deal with in combat for some decks, so that's kind of nice. And we have Deathgorge Scavenger. This is just another, you know, piece of graveyard hate, good cheap early creature to play. And yeah, it removes cards from graveyard and gain your life, and that's pretty sweet. Wayward Swordtooth. This card is good when your opponents cast like Wheel of Fortune and things like that. Obviously, I think if I had a wheel, I'd probably play it. So it's very good there. But yeah, if you have a bunch of extra lands, it gets you, does ramp you sometimes. But mostly it's a 3-mana 5/5. That's a good card to hit off your Gishath, and you'll pretty much always has Ascend by that time. But it's just a cool card. I like it. Look at the funky looking little furry T-Rex thing. Alright, then we have Kinjali Sunwing, another cheap disruptive dino, so it's good early. It flies, which is great, and having your opponent's stuff come to play tapped is awesome because that means you can get your Gishath through a lot easier. Runic Armasaur, card drawing, kind of a hate bearer, hate dino kind of thing, so this card's sweet. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it just draws you cards if they activate abilities of creatures or lands. Pretty self-explanatory. A lot of this stuff isn't too hard to understand. Like, yeah, I'm playing Thrashing Brontodon because good cheap early creature, also great way to kill artifacts if you need to. Alright. Okay. Now we have Ripjaw Raptor. It's another raptor. It's 4-mana 4/5, and it draws you cards. So minor enrage theme here, or maybe moderate enrage theme, I don't know. But yeah, Ripjaw Raptor. Oh, there we go. Then we have Raging Regisaur. It triggers enrage, kills off random mana dorks. 4-mana 4/4, just another solid card. And of course, Shifting Ceratops, pro blue, uncounterable, and can get all sorts of different abilities by paying a green. So, very sweet. Very sweet. Alright, 5-mana ones. We have Temple Altasaur. Yeah, so this lets you, like say if you played a Blasphemous Act, all of your other dinosaurs would only take 1 damage. This guy would die, but all of your team would live, and then of course, everyone else's stuff would die too, so that's pretty sweet. So this is good with enraged stuff, good with all sorts of damage stuff, like earthquakes and stuff. Pretty sweet. Regisaur Alpha, haste effects, and makes a dude. So that's super sweet. Raging Swordtooth, big ETB enrage thing, so very cool. And just 5-mana 5/5, which is with trample, of course, that's pretty solid. Gigantosaurus. A little bit easier to cast now, especially with Yavimaya, but typically the mana base is already set up, so almost everything produces green anyways, since the deck is so green heavy. So yeah, this card is more castable than you would imagine. Only like once or twice I've actually had trouble casting it, but that's okay. And then of course Quartzwood Crasher, so getting trample from Garruk's Uprising is actually really nice. So any of our big dinos that don't have trample, they now have trample. with Guruk's Uprising, and this guy lets you make a huge token, which is really cool. So, one of the few cards from Ikoria that I was really excited to start playing with. And of course, Trapjaw Tyrant, another enraged guy, can remove big problematic creatures, which is pretty sweet. 5 mana, 5/5, so can't go wrong. Alright, let's look at 6 mana dudes. Here we go, Carnage Tyrant. Yeah, and we were just playing because he's huge, he's hard to deal with. He's a good standalone creature, so if we just play him, like, he's hard to interact with, and we can just deal a bunch of damage. Bellowing Aegisaur. This card is sweet, especially when you have, like, you pop this with the big raptor guy that deals 1 to everything, Raging Swordtooth. You do that, and you get all your stuff, like 1/1 counters when it comes into play off Gishath. That's pretty sweet. And it's got, like, a pretty big butt. It's great for blocking. Really cool. Really discourages people attacking you. Burning Sun's Avatar. This card's sweet, because it's a 6 mana 6/6, and it does a bunch of damage. And it's a big dinosaur. And of course, Atali. This card is just a good card that you'd want to play in a lot of decks. Just gives you free cards, so more card advantage. Very cool, very sweet. Alright, how about 7 mana dinos? Okay, we have Goring Ceratops. This card is sweet. It gores. Double strikes. Thing is, you know, untapping with this in play, you're probably going to kill the table. This card is sweet. Very cool. What am I doing? Okay. Thundering Spineback. It's basically sort of a classic lord, but also a mana outlet. So if you don't really want to play more creatures to just make their wraths better, you can just spend your mana to put 3/3s into play, which of course get buffed, so become 4/4s. So this is pretty sweet. Rampaging Brontodon. This was fortunately reprinted in Jumpstart. So, like, the other one was, like, from a starter deck or something, I can't remember. It was, like, exclusive to that, but it was only foil, which was really obnoxious. So, yeah, I don't really like having decks full of foils sometimes. But this one got reprinted in Jumpstart. It's really cool. It's great with having a bunch of lands, and just being a 7 mana 7/7 is fine. Obviously, like, the bar is pretty low. You just need big things or things with abilities to put in off of Gishath. And Verdant Sun's Avatar, you can gain up to, like, crazy amounts of life when you do this. This thing is sweet. Obviously it's a non-bow, right, with the little mini raptor. But this card is super awesome. I just love gaining a lot of life. Like, I mean, this is totally a Timmy style deck, so yeah. There you go. And of course, Silverclad Ferocidons. This card is sweet because it's the Enrage, and it makes your opponent sack permanents, which is sweet. So, 7 mana, 8/5, not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, now we have 8 mana stuff. We just have 2. Wakening Sun's Avatar, just if you cast it, you get to wrath all non-dinosaurs. You do have to cast it, unfortunately, not from the regular stuff. But yeah, this card's sweet. It's a Triceratops thing. Styracosaurus, I don't know. Okay, and Zitalpa. This thing is hilarious. It's dino chroma, like an achroma, but it has just a bunch of different abilities. So yeah, this card's super sweet. Alright, how about 9 mana? We have a sweet one here. Alright, look at this guy. This was in one of the commander decks. Yeah, it's a 9 mana 10/10, and it enters, and it just starts fighting stuff. I mean, this will take out at least 2 or 3 different creatures, maybe even more, depending. This thing is awesome. So yeah, big fan of this card. It's really hilarious. It's just a big fat thing to put into play that you can just smash a bunch of stuff. I mean, just really great stuff here. Really fun. I really like it a lot. It's so cool. I mean, it's a 10/10. How can you not like it? And of course, Zakama, of course. This card is sweet. Just does pretty much whatever you want to do. And of course, when you cast it, it untaps your lands, which is awesome, so you can use all of its abilities. You can even use its 3 damage one on some of your own guys. And of course, last but certainly not least, Galta. He's 12 mana, 12/12, of course, costs less. He's always, of course, been in here. Good stuff. He's just hilarious to cast, so yeah, not much else to say about him. He's just a sweet card. Just big dinosaur, big boom boom. So, and of course, you can easily cast him at a certain point just by having a bunch of stuff in play. If you just need that extra damage and you got like a haste guy, you can go nuts. So yeah, that's it. The only foil card, of course, in the deck is the commander. I like the foil commander stuff. Sometimes it looks pretty cool. Yeah, is that? I think, yeah, it is picking it up. Okay, yeah, so yeah, this card's sweet. This deck's really fun. Slightly changed and improved and a little bit better. Stuff going in and out, and there's a few things I want to get. Maybe, like I said, I think previously, like Enlightened Tutor, Worldly Tutor, maybe some of that stuff. Who knows? But I like it so far as is. Pretty good, pretty good. So we'll just see if more dinosaurs are printed to put in here, which would be sweet. But that's it. So thanks for stopping by, guys, and have a great day.